I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Y'all, I had the time wrong for some reason. I had, it's supposed to be for an 11 a.m. start, and I realized that I put it at 11:30. Oh my goodness, my bad. Y'all know sometimes, but come on in. I appreciate y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. Hey, come on in. So we are talking about Belle Collective. This is episode 3. I know a lot of people have been questioning this storyline or saying that they're tired of it, whatever the case may be. But these two people have been together for a very long time. This is very much how people who are in battered women's shelters, things like that, this is exactly what they tell you to do. If you can figure out a way to build your money up so that when you get out, you're not starting from, absolute ground zero, do that, because that's not healthy. Typically what that does is it sends you right back into spaces you don't want to be with that man. Okay, I see that my sister is here. Come on in. This is my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy, clone in the house. She's my moderator. She's going to make sure that everything's good over here. I see Toronto is here. What's up, Toronto? And the rest of y'all, when you get the courage, because I know that y'all are scared, but if you get the courage, join the chat, okay? I know that everybody is trying to, figure out how to be grown, child. I'm sorry. I tickle myself sometime. But I pray for y'all every single day. I promise you I do, because I know that you're under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, okay? All right. So this show picked up exactly where it left off with Leticia and Latrice. They are, y'all know, into it. They are out there fighting and things at Selena's 50th birthday party. And Tisha has been accused of reaching out to Latrice's old employees for the purpose of possibly setting her up or getting some sort of dirt or something on her. And Tisha's like, girl, I didn't do that. Where are you coming from? I didn't do that. And she's, that's a lie. That's a lie, Latrice. And then she finally said, girl, why would I do that? And Latrice said, because you did, bitch. Okay? Because you did. Don't look for me. Don't look to me for explanations. You know you're dirty. Okay? We've been friends for a long time, so I know who you are. You know who I am. Okay? That's basically how she put it down. Anyway, after that, everybody swarms in and they start pushing them into their respective corners, right? The girls, the collective start breaking the girls up. And you hear Leticia in the background screaming, she's lying. She's a lie. It was very reminiscent of Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, when she stood up at that dinner. She's a lie. That's a lie. That's exactly how she was screaming out. Anyway, after all of that, Shantae is on the inside. Shantae is the new girl. She is Leticia's friend. And she goes inside and she tells Glendale, they fighting out here. Okay, so Glen said the second he heard it, he knew it was his wife. First off, Glen shouldn't even be there. This is interesting because I forgot to bring this up last week, that Leticia came in late, right? Knowing that Mandy would possibly be there. So coming in late, letting her husband be in the same environment as a woman who said she was trying to sleep, that he was trying to sleep with her, and she entertained it. She was open to it, right? Anyway, just putting that out there, that Shantae is the one who comes in and says, somebody's fighting, they fighting out there. And Glen said the second he heard it, he knew it was his wife, right? So he goes outside, he grabs Tisha, and he's trying to say, what's going on? What's going on? She's explaining it. She's accusing me of reaching out to her ex-employees to get dirt that didn't happen. And Tisha ends up standing in front of Latrice and she said, call Josh, right? Because now they've revealed it's Josh it's the one who's telling everybody everything, right? So she said, call Josh right now. Clear this shit up right now. I never called that man. I never looked for anything from you. So Latrice does. She picks up her phone. You see the word Josh across the screen. And Tisha grabs the phone out of Latrice's hand and says, when did I call you? When did I call you? What is this about me trying to set you up? And Josh said, you did call me, Tisha. You know you called me. And now it's 2 against 1 because Tisha's sitting there like, what the f- is this about? And then Tisha takes her phone out and said, Josh, and she's trying to explain it to Treese. She said, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Now, this is where things get tricky. Take the poll at the top of the chat. This is where things get tricky because Leticia is about to show text messages from Josh on her phone where Josh is asking her to help him set Latrice up. That's the text message. She said it was you reaching out to me because you were mad at Latrice because y'all were going through y'all thing and she had fired you because y'all remember Josh had to go because he was in the middle of Latrice and Woodstock. Cliff, her husband. So she said he was calling me. Now here's the problem, Tisha. That means your hands aren't clean, okay? As soon as she says it, Glen grabs her and said, Tisha, that's her employee. You can't win with this. You can't win with this. And he starts grabbing her. He stands in front of her. He rocks her out of the scene. I was laughing at home because I'm like, baby, you was about to tell yourself, your hands aren't clean. There's no way in hell that Josh should have been able to call you for anything, send you a text about anything. If Leticia was really your friend, Josh isn't your friend. Josh is a random. Josh is Latrice's employee. So the fact that you let him do it and you didn't tell her about it tells us everything we need to know about Tisha. So whether it was this time, whether it was 2024, it does not matter. You didn't tell that girl what was going down when it happened. Because if you did, you would have just started with that. The only person that tried to set your ass up was Josh. And I told you about it back in 2024. You couldn't say that because you didn't have the ammunition because your hands were dirty. Tisha, that's my opinion. Anyway, after all of this, you see Marie is in the middle, and Marie is saying to both Latrice and to Tisha, she said, y'all apologize to each other right now. This is what Marie is saying. Apologize to each other. Just apologize. Don't let this go any further. And then when they start breaking off, they go into their little camps. We see Glen calms Tisha down, and then Tisha comes back into the scene with Latrice. And this time, Leticia says, listen, I never called Josh, but that's cool because if there's one thing I know about you is that you talk about everybody that you're around. You talk about everybody that you're around. You talked about her. I know her business. I know her business. And Tisha's pointing at all these random people that's inside the group. And that's where this woman, we don't know who she is or how she's related to Latrice. Maybe it's a cousin or I don't know. But the cousin steps to Leticia and said, bitch, you don't know nothing about me. There isn't anything that you can tell me about me and my business. Okay, so when she does that, you see Glen get in the middle of his wife and this random. And he says, shorty, back up off my wife. Back up off my wife, shorty. He starts saying stuff like that, which was pretty hilarious. And then he pulls his wife away. But this breaks Leticia down because she realizes, in my opinion, she really wanted to mend things with Latrice. I think she thought that they would have a little moment where they bumped heads, but she was not expecting it to go all the way left. So whoever that woman was that was beside Latrice, that woman was there to, stump a hole into Leticia's ass, period. You know, you bring those friends who are like, girl, when I see things going left, I'm gonna put hands on it, and that's all there is to it. Because you might be too emotional to recognize what's really going on. But when she does that, that's when you can see how it pops off. And Tisha's crying. She's in confessional crying. She said, I had no idea that I was hated this much. Mandy is coming at her and Treese. So there's 3 against 1. And then you have Glen on the side. But now everybody swarms them, including security guards. Okay. They had one security guard that looked like a big fat R. Kelly. He looked like a big swollen R. Kelly standing up. They were like surrounded, and finally they moved them all apart. Glen is on the side screaming, no, dog, no, I'm not going to play that. This didn't, going on and on and on. And Leticia said, I had no idea that I was this hated. I had no idea I was this hated. So Glen gets his wife into a car and they drive off. And now you have the rest of the Belles there. And people are making all kinds of comments. Like Carrie says something like, where the hell is Marie? Like, where is Marie La Bestie? Where is Marie La Bestie? Why is all of this going on? This lady then went to the side. Well, hell, Marie ain't messing up her good body work, child. She didn't pay all that money at the clinic, at the chop shop, so she can get into a fight with these folks. This is not, absolutely not. And I have to say, I don't blame her. But after Glen drives off with his wife, Latrice is standing outside. They're all, having this back and forth. And Marie is trying to talk sense into Latrice, right? She tells her, girl, what's the reason? What reason would this woman have to attack you, set you up, fight you? And Latrice said, I don't know. That's your friend. You ask her. You know more about it than I do. That's your BFF. But she does say, I don't trust her. I don't trust her as far as I can see her. And then Mandy ends up getting involved because Latrice said the bottom line is she's dirty. She's dirty. And Mandy gets involved, and Mandy asks Marie if she's capable of even being fair, because your loyalty is really with Leticia. And Marie says, no. If she's wrong, if you're wrong, I don't have a problem with telling y'all that, because right now we just need to seek out the truth. So that is how Marie ends it. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, including Carrie thought that was a problem, that Marie didn't hop in the car, I guess, with Leticia and Glen. Why are you still here? Why are you in this huddle? So I asked the question, make sure y'all take the poll. Anyway, moving on. Now we are at Tisha's house. It's the next day. We are at Tisha's house, and Marie comes by to have a little ponderosa with her to, rehash things. And they want to debrief about all the stuff. And Marie's like, listen, girl, what is the problem? Like, how did you and Josh connect? What's going on? And Leticia ends up showing Marie the text messages. And the whole time, Maurice's face is like, Leticia, you're not exactly innocent, but she's also trying to, support as much as she can. But she goes, here's the messages. She's scrolling down on her screen. She's like, this is from 2024. And when Latrice got into it with him, he was texting me. He was trying to set her up. So she gives the full plot. I'm still not sure why she doesn't think that that's a problem, because that is a problem, girl. That is a problem. Anyway, after she says all that off screen, Marie says, listen, oh, well, hold on, child. While she says all that, Tisha ends up saying, listen, the weapon that Latrice and Josh tried to form against me prospered against them. Okay, they both said it prospered against them. I don't know. I think it prospered against you too, girl. When you play dirty, when you are allowing that man to text you, when you're allowing anybody that is a Latrice person to contact you and tell them tell you about her, that's a problem. But she doesn't see it that way right now. And I'm firm in this. That was a delusional way to talk about her. But Marie in Confessional said that she thinks that it's Latrice who's blowing things out of proportion, that she feels like it's on some get back shit because Shantae stepped to her. And I guess the same for Latrice. Latrice said, I feel like it was some get back because Mandy stepped to you. So they are both saying the same exact thing. They just don't, they're just so involved in their own feelings, they can't see past, their own shit. Anyway, Shantae stops by, and literally the second Shantae walks in the door, she jumped on Marie. She said, girl, where were you? Where were you? There was 3 women in Leticia's face. I was standing right beside her. You were nowhere to be found. What type of friend are you? Okay. And Marie said, girl, I don't know if I said everybody's name wrong. I hope I didn't. It was Shantae who jumped on Marie, right? That's how I said it. Where were you? Marie said, I'm not getting involved in that shit. What the hell was I going to do? There was a whole bunch of people around, y'all. I'm not doing that. And she also reminds Leticia, excuse me, all these L's. She also reminds Tisha, she said, girl, when me and Latrice were into it, you played the middle. You stayed that girl's friend. You were calling her your little sis. You were her big sis. You were a mentor to her. You felt bad for her. There was so much shit that you were saying to me when you and I were besties. And I never held that shit over your head. I didn't say I didn't trust you because you were dealing with Latrice. I allowed our friendship to be our friendship. And I allowed what you had going on with her to be what you had going on with her. I expect the same from you. I'm not getting involved, just like you didn't get involved with mine, right? And I have to say, I agree. Marie didn't hold her friendship over Leticia's head. In my opinion, she did not. If y'all know something different, we'll check it out in a poll. Okay, y'all keep it cute. Hold on. Okay, so I asked y'all to take the poll. If you are able to in the chat on the replay, y'all can actually answer it in the replay. It's up to you because I know that y'all are all being threatened out there and I don't want anything bad to happen to y'all. But Marie, I asked y'all, since Marie reminded Tisha that she continued her friendship with Treese when they fell out, so she's going to do the same. Because Leticia said, listen, do you even like Treese? Why can't you, be loyal to me? Do you even like the girl? And Marie said, no, it doesn't matter if I like her or not. I'm not siding with this bullshit that you and Glen got going on because you don't even know if you're going to be with Glen tomorrow, right? So 57% of y'all said, I agree. Glen is the one that's dividing the Bells. Blaming it on anybody else within the collective seems foul right now, right? So I also agree with that. 25% of y'all said, listen, Marie's being slick, and if she can't choose a side, then she's not Leticia's friend. 24% of y'all said that. And then 18% of y'all said Shantae is the problem. That girl is thirsty for a full-time position on this show, and she's doing anything she can, okay, to prove herself. So I understand where you guys are coming from. I understand where you guys are coming from. Okay, let's get back to the rest of the review. All right. Okay. After all of that, Leticia ends up telling them to shake a bone and get the hell on because she had to go pick up her kid. She said, I don't need anybody to have my back, okay? God got my back. You hoes, y'all can just go on about your business. So that's how the scene ends. And next we have Latrice, Marie, Selena, and Tambra. They're all over there at Latrice's house, okay? Marie included. Marie said, this is my second time ever being invited over to Latrice's house. We've been on this show for 7 seasons. This is my second time being over here, and I am not turning down an invite because of the bullshit that is going on between Tisha and Latrice right now, okay? So she said, I am here. What's for dinner, child? Now, Latrice is throwing a makeup birthday party for Selena because she said that she helped ruin things when they were over there at Dolce or whatever. And she said that she wanted to make an apology by throwing her another party. So Leticia's not there and Carrie is not there. Latrice actually asked Marie, after she makes her apologies and everything, she asked Marie why she didn't come to visit her when she was sick in the hospital with blood clots. And Marie was like, well, first off, I didn't know you were sick with blood clots, child. Otherwise, I might have would have shown up. And they talked about how Latrice didn't know how serious it actually was and, you know, how she's going to make better efforts with her health. Then Marie also has a conversation with Latrice about making up with Tisha. She said, y'all, this is truly affecting the collective. We need to be better than this. Not only that, Latrice, what you and I had going on for the last umpteen years was way worse than what you and Leticia has going on. In fact, you two are practically family. So I'm surprised that you are allowing this rift to take hold of you the way it is. And Latrice, she also said, you need to keep outside voices, meaning Josh, without getting involved and saying, listen, I talked to Tisha, she showed me the text messages. You shouldn't let that outside voice in particular take hold of you, make you make decisions. You know what I'm saying? And she said, no, it's not about outside voices. It's about Tisha being a dirty ass dog. And under no circumstances am I willing to rekindle that relationship with her. And then she said, Tisha, okay? F Tisha and everything she stands for. I will never put myself in a situation where I am friends again with someone who is that disloyal and somebody I don't trust. And the rest of the Belles, Tambra and Selena were both just like, damn, like, oh my God, girl, you can see that it's affecting all of them. Except for Tambra. Tambra just cruises through no matter what, but Selena is definitely like, I just want y'all to get along. Marie is trying not to tell people what to do. She wants you to sit in your feelings, you know what I'm saying? But she also is just trying to give you just a little bit of light. If I can just kind of bore a hole into your brain right now and get you to get to the other side of this, I will, okay? So that's where she is. But after she said F Leticia, they all just kind of sat there stiff, like, what do we do? You know what I'm saying? But also, Marie, this should be a firm reminder of how you had the Belles wilding out all of those seasons, right? Because you refused to talk to Latrice at all. And now you are sitting there eating her food under her roof, feet on her couch. You're doing a lot, girlfriend. Okay, next up we have Carrie and Matt, y'all. So Carrie and Matt are at home with their kiddos, and Carrie or both of them gets a surprise visit from Carrie's parents. Her mother and father stops by. And Carrie tells her parents that her new restaurant is losing money. This is her third brick and mortar. The first two is doing amazing, but this last one, she can't get it to, turn a profit for nothing. And she blames it on the last restaurant owner. She said, baby, that last restaurant owner was so bad, It's left a bad taste in people's minds and in their mouths. They're not even willing to walk in the door to see all of the amazing changes that we've made and all of the, the great food that I have. And I have 2 other restaurants that's doing superb, right? And she's sitting there on her husband's lap. She is crying tears. She is heartbroken. And her mama said, suck it up. Suck it up, girl. I did not raise you like this. She says, listen, you got 2 restaurants that's doing amazing. Sometimes you have to cut your losses. And her husband tells her the same thing. Her husband said, yeah, if it's not working, just let this one go. And this is her baby. She started this from scratch. So she said, girl, this is my baby. Can you show me a little compassion? Can you give me a hug? Can you tell me that, you feel bad for me and you want me to keep going? And her mama said, I didn't raise you like that. Okay. I didn't raise you like that. I don't know what this shit is, girl. You are much stronger than this. Suck it up. Okay. Suck it up, which, I respect her mama. I respect her mama in this situation. At the end of the day, it's good to see all kinds on TV. You know what I'm saying? We have a generation, or maybe not this one, maybe the next one, who, when these kind of conversations happen, people are like, I'm cutting her off. She doesn't understand me. I'll never let you see me or the grandkids again. And Carrie's on the other side. And she says in her confessional, my mama has a real strong opinion. So for me, I appreciate and respect her opinion, but I would love for her to coddle me every once in a while, even though I know that's not her personality. Carrie also ends up telling her what happened at Selena's birthday party and how she's in this new friendship group called The Collective. And they were wilding out. They damn near came to a fisticuffs. And Carrie's husband said, well, actually her mama said, well, what are you going to do about it? And Carrie's husband was quick. He said, that's not our business. That had to do with 2 other ladies. We don't have to deal with that. And yeah, Mama Carrie said, well, you do if you plan on hanging around them. Okay. I raised mine to know that if you lay with dogs, you wake up with fleas, child. So I don't want you in that mess, even as a grown woman, if those ladies don't know how to handle themselves. And that's when you hear Carrie say, my mom is very opinionated, okay? She's too opinionated for me sometimes. So I want to make sure that I get her opinion, but I don't want her to offend folks within the group, okay? That was actually a good scene. I do like Carrie and her mama. I really do. I like Carrie and her whole family. But yeah, we'll see what happens next. All right, now we are talking about Leticia and her mama. So we saw Leticia's mama when Glen had invited her mother and his father to the house for right before the renewal, right? The vow renewal, right? And Leticia's mom said, listen, Leticia's mom and her meet up to do like some sort of ceramic craft or something like that. So that Leticia, I keep saying Leticia and Latrice wrong, so that Leticia can run it by her mama that she is thinking about leaving Glen. Now, I don't know if they've ever had this conversation before. I didn't see it, but this is serious, okay? So Leticia said, listen, my mama is nothing to play with. She's nothing like me. I have given Glen a gazillion chances, right? But my mama has been married 6 times, okay? 6 times. And when her husband start wilding out, she does not wait to see if it's going to get greater later, okay? That heifer's out that second. You don't have to ask me another thing, baby. Them court papers are going to be showing up at your door or at your job, wherever they can serve you, because I'm done. All right. So this is real interesting to me that, and I'm assuming this happened while she was growing up, that Leticia grew up with a mama who threw the men out of her house the second she was done with them. However, she kept getting married because 6 times is a lot of times to be getting married in this lifetime. Did she beat Who's the person with the purple eyes? Is it Elizabeth Taylor? Has she beat Elizabeth Taylor's record for marriage? I don't know. But Tisha said that she is trying to, figure things out, and she wanted her mama's opinion. So she tells her mother, I don't know if but I've been trying to rebuild myself financially because the last time I attempted to leave Glen, I had to circle the block. I had to come back because I didn't have money. I didn't have money in my account. This time, I want to build, okay? Let that man continue to pay the mortgage, all the utilities, put food in the refrigerator while I get my accounts fat in case I got to leave his ass again. And this is where I'm leaning to anyway. And her mama said, thank God. Okay, listen, I don't want to get in your business, but it's been time, okay, for you to have left that man. That's how I heard it anyway. Tisha's mom said, I told you from the beginning to get your own bank account. I told you from the beginning, I don't play those games. So when I was watching you do it, child, I was like, whose baby are you? I didn't even know what was going on. Okay. But you have been submissive to that man since the day you met. Okay. His dreams are your dreams. You don't have any dreams of your own. Whatever he wants to do, you want to do. Okay. Whatever you like. Okay. Bark like a dog, hop on one leg. I've been watching you do all that shit. And now it's good to know that you have figured out that you are much more than this. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Tisha said, well, how did you feel about the marriage ceremony? Somebody said Taylor's been married 8 times. Well, okay, her mama's almost there. She's too shy. Okay, so then Tisha asked her mother how she felt about the recommitment ceremony. And her mother said, I didn't even want to go to that shit. I didn't want to go to the ceremony. She said she was only there for her. That's the only reason. But she hasn't tried to jump on her back, down her throat, down her neck about her being with Glen because she knows that she has to figure it out for herself. Me interfering will just make you cling to a bad situation even worse, okay? Even more. So I know you need to figure this out for yourself. Tisha said, well, the one thing I am doing is I'm keeping Glen out of my professional life. The shit I got going on right now, the irons I have in the fire, he doesn't have anything to do with, okay? And that's how it's going to be from this point forward. What's his is mine, and what's mine is mine. But he doesn't get to come over and give me his 2 cents or nothing else. Now, Leticia, if you start making more money than him, he is going to have some spousal support rights, right? Because you made that business while in the marriage. Anyway, she also tells her mother that lately, Glen has been extra controlling, constantly asking her, what you doing? Where you at? Who you with, right? And she said, this man goes so far as to call me and then tell me hang up and call me back on FaceTime right now. Don't wait 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now. I'm going to hit the button and then I want your ass to hit the button and call me back on FaceTime. Call me back on FaceTime. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious to me. And she said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Why is he like this, mama? Girl, you know why he like this. Anyway, her mama said, the next time he tell you that shit, you make sure there's a man laying beside you in that bed. And then you make sure you paying that phone, okay? Is this what you want? Is this what you want to see? I'm actually liking Mama Leticia. Mama Leticia is hilarious. Anyway, she said, if you do that, he won't have any questions for you anymore. He'll have no more worries, okay? Give him what he wants, Tisha, and stop playing second fiddle to this man. Anyway, after they finished their ceramic plates, Leticia's mama said, listen, girl, I'm going to know you're serious about leaving him when you break these plates, okay? This conversation that we're having over this man, all this craziness, When you're ready to leave, I want you to break the plate. That's going to be symbolic of you leaving all the rest of that stuff behind. Okay? And that's how it ends. Listen, I almost forgot. I did forget actually to show y'all this one picture of Leticia when she said that Glen told her, hold on, y'all, that Glen told her to get behind him. Let me say this before I get into this last scene. I don't know if y'all can see them, so I need to take these things off the screen. So Tisha was in Confessional, and she was talking about how Glen was her knight in shining armor when he, busted into the little fight scene between her and Latrice and swooped in and put him behind, like she said, he put me behind his back. And oh my God, that's why I married that man right here. This is the reason right here. He was my knight in shining armor against all those hyenas. And then production put Latrice's head, Amanda's head, and whoever that one girl that was with Latrice, the one that jumped in her face, and Glen was like, back off, shorty. They put their heads on hyena bodies, okay? They put their heads on the hyena bodies. And look at the smile on her face. Look at the smile on her face. I just want to say this to her. If that man makes you smile like that, if you felt like in that moment he protected you, you got a lot that you got to fight in your head. That's number one. Number two, if y'all remember last season or season 5, it was season 5, when I told y'all that Akeisha and Willie, when they were in Latrice's restaurant, and Willie had stood up on Glen and Cliff, and he was like this, come on, what you gonna do? Come on. And his wife came from around the back of him like she was about to get in their face. She was doing all this shit. And he looked down and saw her little body, down there. And with one arm, he swooped that woman behind his back so fast. Willie is huge. But the way it was such a light little swing, but it took her entire body behind his back. That's because he had, you know what I'm saying? He's a football player. He has a lot of muscle. But he did that at least 2 or 3 times. I actually had the video footage of it on my IG page. But I was like, that man literally, it was like he took 2 fingers and slapped that lady back behind him. Glen didn't do that to Leticia. What Glen did was stand in front of her and just move her, like rocked her backward. He did not push her behind him at all. That is so funny that she said the way he pushed me behind him. I went, girl, he didn't push you. He didn't push you behind him. He moved you out the way and walked you backwards. That was all he did. Not that that's not a big deal, but it's not the same picture that Willie and Akeisha gave us in season 5. That was hilarious. Anyway, after saying all that, because I just remembered I had my picture up here, let's get down to this last scene, which is Leticia and Glendale. Because Leticia and Glendale, they're on another level, baby. They are on another level right now. I don't think I've seen this in a minute. Well, that's not true, because we've heard Candy and Todd have these conversations on camera about money and what you're doing and are you out here in these streets? Because I know I heard, didn't Candy ask Todd what the hell he got going on in Hollywood? And she's been hearing some shit. And he has one choice: get your ass back home now and find something to do here. Or if you stay out there, we finish, right? All right. I just want to make sure I heard that conversation before. Hey, come on in, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see y'all coming in. Thank you for supporting the channel. Okay, so Tisha's at home, child, with that hair bonnet on right there. She is painting her nails. She is getting ready for the next meeting, okay, whatever she got going on. She's pampering herself and putting all her energy into her, okay? And then Glen walks in with her favorite aphrodisiac, pizza, wings, breadsticks. Glen wants this to stop, okay? He wants them to be on the other side of this. And when he walks in the door, Leticia is very sweet. She speaks in such a sweet voice. Hey, what you doing? What you got going on in there? You know what I'm saying? Because usually when people are mad in your relationship, you ain't giving all that sugary sweet shit. You like, what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even really want to talk to you. If I'm in the living room, have your ass someplace else. Okay. But Tisha's being all syrupy sweet. Hey, how are you? I don't know. I thought that was a mixed message. Um, so anyway, Tisha asked Glenn, what do you have? What you got going on in there? And Glenn said, you already know. You already know. I got pizza, okay? Like this is our thing. This is how we hang out on Friday nights, right? And he makes a plate for her, comes in, hands her everything, bends down to kiss her on the lips, and she hands him the cheek. Right here, baby. That's it. And he went, oh, okay. We still here, right? And she's like, well, what do you want? What I do wrong? What is it? Tisha. Glenn just sits there and says, nah, nothing, girl. Okay, cool. I'm not doing this with you. But Tisha ends up getting all sugary sweet again. Thank you for having my back at Selena's 50th birthday party. I really appreciate that. And Glenn said, I ain't never gonna let anybody play in your face. That's why I can't understand what this is right here. I don't understand why you're giving me this cold shoulder, this, not talking. We need to be the same way we've always been because I've never let anybody play in your face, Tisha. That's just not what it is. Well, can we go ahead and do a rewind of how many times people have played in Tisha's face? Glenn, if you are out here taking DNA tests to make sure that somebody else's child isn't your child, that woman and you were playing in her face. She doesn't have to have a confrontation with her. She played in her damn face. As long as we all know it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even have enough respect for her to keep that shit a secret. You understand? Usually with some folk, okay, they have rules. Don't embarrass me in public. How many times have you embarrassed that lady in public, at home in private, on national TV? Wherever it is, you do that. So the fact that you fixed your lips to say, I've never let anybody play in your face, was playing in her face. That was playing in her face. I don't know, Glenn. I want to say that you're smarter than this and you keep it real dumb for Tisha. And I think I'm respecting Tisha a little bit more for keeping it real dumb with your ass. You understand? Because, dude, no, okay. Even what happened with Mandy at Latrice's house, that was Latrice, or excuse me, that was Mandy playing in her face. That was you, Glenn, playing in her face. Because you knew who Mandy was and what she was up to when you walked in the house. That was the first thing I said when I saw the scene. I said, are you not going to turn around and say that you left the iron on? Are you not going to turn around and say, I just got a phone call, Josh is sick? Okay? There's something that you should have did so that you didn't have a woman you was flirting with in the same room as the woman you sleep with every night. There's consequences for your actions, boo. That's just how it plays out always. Okay? For every action, there's a separate but equal reaction. You learned that like in the 6th grade, maybe. Anyway, Glenn says that, and he says he doesn't like the distance between them. I don't like this distance, Tisha. Help me understand, Tisha. Why the distance? Tisha says, or first, excuse me, he says to Tisha next, I know that you are purposely squeezing me out because you're not talking to me about your businesses. You're not telling me what's going on in your meetings. You're not allowing me to participate in your businesses. I'm not a part of the focus groups that you have going on, Tisha. Why? We're supposed to be building together. If you wanted me to participate in this shit, you would have me be a part of it. I mean, what's going on? Then Glen looks her in the face and said, listen, girl, I know my worth, okay? I'm more than just D, and y'all know what comes with it, and a paycheck. I am more than just eggplant and a paycheck, Tisha. And I'm not going to be letting you use me for my damn goodies and my money and not let me in on what you got going on business-wise. That's a threat. That is a threat. That was messy. That was nasty. And this is what I mean when I say Glen isn't slow. He knows what the hell that's going on, but he likes to talk to Tisha like she's slow, right? But now he's just like, well, let's come with it. You want, when you horny, you want to, make things happen. When it's Friday, you getting cute. Well, where we gonna go? Okay, is the bills paid? Now all of a sudden you got shit going on? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want that. Then Glen said, if I'm going to be honest, I think the real reason why you're doing this is because you don't trust me, which Tisha should have told him that shit in the first place. But this is what he says to her. I'm tired of it. Two tears in a bucket. F it. You don't trust me. And I think that you're trying to establish yourself financially so that if you want to walk out of here, you can. You ain't going to stick around for me no more. And Tisha looks him in the face. And at first, Tisha tried to play real dumb. I'm not going to lie. She did go, well, that's not well, what I'm doing, Glen, is I'm pouring into me. And you don't like it when I'm pouring into me. And then she said, and you know what? You're right. You're right. If I need to leave, I am building my shit up so I don't have to stick around with you. I've done this rodeo before, Glen. So if it comes to, it will come to. And Glen, since she has done it so many times before, at least 10, maybe a dozen, maybe more. Why not? Why doesn't she have a right to build her pockets up? Okay. That's when Glen said, well, that shit ain't working for me. Okay. Because if you get to leave this relationship when you want to, if that's what you think is going to go down, that's a problem. Leticia, when I met your ass, you were a housewife. And now you want to build businesses and think I'm not going to get cut a piece of the pie? I'm reading between the lines, but that's exactly what he told her ass. You stepped into this relationship as a housewife. I have been providing this entire time. And now you want to go get your own and make it seem like I don't have a piece in that? Wow. Tisha said, listen, Glen, I am growing. I am setting new boundaries for me. Okay. And this just happens to be where I am right now. I can't help you with that. I'm growing. Glen says, so you think that I'm not letting you grow? You think that I have a problem with you being more than just a housewife? Well, bitch, you just said you did. You reminded her that she was a housewife, right? You reminded her of that. You didn't say, I'm proud of you for getting it on your own. You reminded her of who she was before and made it seem like she'll be that again if you're not there. Anyway, Tisha said, I'm growing beyond the boundaries that you set for me. And that's the problem right there. You think that I don't know you don't like it. Glen tells her, what I don't like, Leticia, is that you have another man investing in you, okay? Investing in your future, in your businesses, not me. And at the end of the day, baby, when it comes time to collect, when it comes time to pay the piper, he's not going to be looking for a percentage money wise. He's going to be looking for a percentage of that ass. Okay. I know men like him. I know who they are and how they act and what they expect, Leticia. This was hilarious. Anyway, Tisha looks at him and said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Absolutely." And what he's really saying to you, Tisha, is he doesn't believe you to be smart enough to have business partners or men that would want to invest in you. What he's telling you is that the only reason that man is in your atmosphere, in your realm, is because he wants to give you a little D himself. That's it. That shit floored me. I could not believe that they put this on the show, and not in a, oh my God, how could they kind of way, just in a, I think they really forgot them cameras were rolling. Because Glen's face the entire time, Glen was he was just done. He was done. Okay. Come on in, hit the like button. Anyway, after he says that, he said, "Bitch, there's no way. There's no way." Tisha says, I'm going to put it like this, Glen. I've been doing some research. I've been talking to people and they've really been pouring into me. I've been reading on the days you're out and doing God knows what. I've been inside them books and on the internet trying to figure out how to, establish myself financially. I'm starting my own financial journey. And I want to take a few $1,000s out of the joint account and put it into a separate account. And put it into a separate account. And Glen said, "I don't have a problem with it." Okay, because now Glen knows what the F it is now. And so he's like, "I'm not about to fight this bitch." Because clearly he's been thinking about it for as long as she's been thinking about it. Make no mistake about that. And what Tisha doesn't know on the other side of this is what in the hell has he been putting on the side, Leticia? Because the way he said, after telling you that no man would want to participate with you in anything you got going on unless they was looking for that panty payout. That's the only way. Okay? For him to have said as easily as he did, "Go ahead, take a couple of $1,000, put it in your separate bank account." She said, "Well, I've been doing the research, Glen, and what we can do is we'll call it a it's like a loan and a blah blah blah." He said, "That's cool." And the whole time Glen is standing up, and Glen said, "I don't have a problem with that. What I would like you to do though is start researching and reading the books about how to trust your damn husband. That's what you need to be doing. Instead of putting all your research into how to leave me, maybe you should put some research into how to trust me and know that I got your back." Tisha said, "Well, since you brought all that up, I want to be celibate. Okay? This kitchen is out of business, baby. I'm not doing nothing for you no more." And Glen looked at her like, damn it. He said, "You want me to have a dry? Do you want me to have a dry?" Tisha went, "What? What? Why is that? Is that not acceptable?" Girl, I died. Okay. Anyway, Glen said, "You out your mind. Okay. You don't want to your husband? Is that what you're saying to me?" I kid you not, y'all. This is all lines from the show. I'm not even ad-libbing. This is what this man said. He stood up. He said, "I'm out. You lost your damn mind." He went walking out to that damn truck. Tisha said, "Glen." And Tisha, for a half a second, she was walking it back. "You're not letting me finish. I was going to say I only want to be celibate on Fridays. I don't know." I don't know. But she said, "You're not letting me finish." Glen went out to that truck. Before Glen closed the door, Tisha was calling him. She said, "This man better answer the phone." She said, "Are you serious?" He picks up. "Are you serious?" He said, "Hell yeah, I'm serious. You telling me you don't want to me? You my wife. What is going on? She said, Glen, you're not even letting me finish. And you know what? If you walk out of here, I'm done. I'm gone. Okay? Glen hung up that phone. You heard it go, dun, dun, clink. He got in that car. He turned that shit off. Tisha said, I know you fucking lying. She starts calling back and it goes, your call has been transferred to a blah, blah, blah. Tisha said, is this some shit? Yes, Glen pulled out that driveway. He said, tell me if this ain't what you want so I can start making other plans because I'm done too. And we'll get to see what happens next week. Belle Collective, episode 3, 10 out of a 10. Solid 10s across the board so far. This has been an amazing season, okay? I don't care. I like it. There's a lot of women out there with these kind of problems who be in these relationships for 10, 15, 25 years. We've been dating since high school. We've been dating since college. It's hard for me to leave him. I trust him when he say this. There's so many people that do this. If Tisha's going to do it the right way and be the blueprint for how to get the fuck up out of here when you've been in a relationship since high school, you got kids together, whatever the case may be, I love it. I love the way the friends are interacting. But this is not my problem. You're not going to make it my problem. Okay? This is real talk. People do this. They will blame every single body about their poor ass decisions instead of saying, you know what? I have told you countless times, okay, when I was going through it with that man, that he's not like that. And I know him better than anybody. And, you know, don't treat him bad because we're having a downtime. We're going to get back together. When people have that mentality, which Tisha does, they do that all the time. They will convince you as a person on the outside looking in, they will convince you that maybe it's not as bad as she's making it seem. Shit. Or at the very minimum, when you've decided that you're done with it, you'll be like, you know what? That's just how they operate. That's just how they operate. I got to worry about my own happiness. Friend, I wish you the best, but I'm not going to get in your shit like that no more. This is where they are now. She's blaming friends. She might get into it with Marie before the season's out. The bottom line is, you know Glen than anybody. And just because you're playing this game with him to see if he's going to whip it back into shape, knowing damn well he's not, cool. But I don't have to play it with you. I don't want to be delusional with you. And I like that the friends are taking a stand and saying, Tisha, if you still want to be cool, leave me out of your bullshit. Because that's true too. And they need to say that. This is perfect. I like that her mama said, girl, I couldn't even tell you back in the day that man was fucking with your mind because you were so in love. You wouldn't have believed me no way. But if this is where you are now, okay, if you're serious, you don't even have to tell me shit else. Just break this plate. Okay, don't keep me in the loop so much that you're looking for advice from me. Because I've been to say some shit that, you know, would get me thrown out the circle. That'll get me thrown out the circle later, okay? Because that's when when people are serious about leaving somebody, all the friends, all the family will start coming out. I never liked him, no way, okay? That motherfucker was horrible. I never liked him for you. He was horrible from the day we met. And you'll be on the other side like, well, if y'all felt this way, why didn't you say something? Because we knew that if we said something, the way your mind was gone, that you would be kicking us out. We wouldn't be able to see the grandkids, whatever case may be. So this is why, okay? So if Tisha's putting this on the show, number one, it's brave. I want to say that. It is brave because we're talking about it, right? Your shit's going to be on every platform if I have anything to do with it. If I have anything to do with it, it's going to be on every platform. So that's number one. But number two, it's good to see if people are in these situations. It's good for people to see someone else and how it plays out with them, because typically you don't even know you're there until you see it play out in somebody else's shit. And then you're like, oh, wow, that's happening to me too, right? But anyways, that is the show. that is the show for today. I appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me for this hour. You said, I love Belle Collective. It's definitely a solid 10. It's a solid 10 for sure. For sure. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Y'all know I had actually put the time as 11 on one post and then 11:30 on another. And I'm really sorry if if y'all came in the middle, but hopefully you'll go back and watch it from the beginning. Okay, watch the replay. And if you're watching the replay, hype me up. Also, take the poll that I give to everybody that's on the live and put it in the comment section too. I just want to see. I think that this is a solid show. I really do. And even though I talk about these people, I don't know any of them. I've never reached out to any of them. They've never reached out to me. I'm in nobody's pocket. Let me just say that too. I don't owe anyone anything. As one of my mentors used to say to me, his name is Mike. That's from a couple of years ago when I was in St. Louis. He always said, buy your own drinks so you can say what the you think, okay? Otherwise, you'll be trying to make shit cute for somebody that's in a bad situation all the time. And he ain't lying. Anyways, let me see what you said. You said, I'm shocked that Marie stood her ground with Tisha and reminded her how she felt in the past. Facts. I said the same thing when Marie said, listen, girl, I said, Marie is solid as F right now. She is solid. She is solid. And I like that she said that too. I like that she said that. I like that she went over to Teresa's house afterward. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to let your ass guilt me into not talking to Latrice. I told you even like just a couple of episodes ago, I told your ass I didn't like the girl, but now that we're in a better place, I'll keep it surface. I know how to trust Latrice. You was the one who was all in, you know what I'm saying? All right. So that's it. Thank you, Clone, for helping out with my as a moderator in the chat. I appreciate you. Every single one of y'all, please hit my like button and share this video. Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for being a part of the family, the Supreme Team family over here. I do. I really do. And I know that some of y'all are having a real hard time with where your loyalties should lie. So I know that it gets real difficult. I'm never going to put that pressure on you. Okay. So you're welcome. Until the next time, you guys. Bye-bye.